Welcome back, class 6. Hope you are doing great. So let's get started again. Now, of chapter 2 till the last date, we have read about latitudes in detail. Now, what are latitudes? Latitudes we have seen are nothing but the imaginary lines that are drawn on the surface of the earth from west to east. They are drawn parallelly to each other, and so they are called parallels of latitudes. Now, parallels of latitudes are having different names. These are the biggest parallel, that is also called the Great Circle, is known as the equator, which measures 0 degree. Secondly, we have the Tropic of Cancer located at 23.5 degree north, Tropic of Capricorn located at 23.5 degrees south. Then we have the Arctic Circle at 66.5 degree north, the Antarctic Circle at 66.5 degrees south, and we have both the poles as points 90 degree north and south. Prior to which we have read about the axis. We have read about the different utility of a globe, and we have seen that due to the position and the structure of these parallels, we can divide the earth into different heat zones. And see, going into it, we have seen that the earth has been divided into 3 different heat zones. Torrid zone, which lies between the equator and the Tropic of Cancer in the northern hemisphere and Tropic of Capricorn in the southern hemisphere. Between the Tropic of Cancer and the Antarctic Circle, we have the temperate zone where the sun do not give its vertical rays, but the oblique rays of the sun fall on these places. Thus, these places are moderately heated. Then we know about the frigid zone, which are absolutely devoid of any sunlight, and they are the permanent ice cap zones, right? So till this we have seen. Now I hope you have gone through the book properly till page 12. Now we will deal with longitudes. Now I told you at the beginning of this session, that we use latitudes majorly for locating a place on the earth's surface. And longitudes are used majorly for determining the time of that particular place. Alright, so longitudes are, unlike the latitudes, they run north to south of the earth's surface. So they are the imaginary lines which run along the North Pole and across the North Pole and the South Pole are called the longitudes. Okay, now in the example that is there in your book, I am giving that example only of the Tonga Island. This is an island found in the Pacific Ocean, and the Mauritius Island, which is an island found in the Indian Ocean. They are situated on the same latitude. Okay, now in order to locate them precisely, we must find out how far east or west these places are located. So if I want to find out, or if we want to find out about the location of a place located on the same latitude but exactly, then we have to take the reference of the longitudes. They are also called meridians of longitude. All right. Now we will see that the distances between these longitudes are measured in degrees. Okay, each degree is further divided into minutes and minutes into seconds. They are the semicircles. In case of parallels, we have seen that they are the whole circles, and each one of them make a circle until we reach the poles. But here in this case, we will see that the longitudes are semicircles, and the distance between them decreases steadily poleward until it becomes 0 at the pole, okay, where all the meridians meet. So at the pole, everything's become 0, and their interspacing between them, or the space between them, decreases steadily polewards. All right. Unlike the parallels, they are of equal length. Please note this. You may require all this information when you are writing about the differences between latitudes and longitudes. Okay. It is difficult to number the meridians. Why? Because they are of equal length. So, what the countries have decided? They have decided that the count should begin from the meridian which passes through Greenwich. Now, where is it? It is the British Royal Observatory in London. Okay. So, the meridian is called the prime meridian. So, in order to to understand the longitudes and their functions, and to determine time accurately, precisely, we have taken a standard a specific meridian which passes through the Greenwich, or the where the Royal British Observatory is located. Okay, its value is 0 degree, and from it we count 180 degree east and 180 degree west. Okay, and this is how we have named the longitude. The prime meridian and the 180 degree meridian divide the earth into two equal halves, the eastern hemisphere and the western hemisphere. Just like the equator, as it is dividing the earth into northern and southern hemisphere, it is dividing the earth into eastern and western hemisphere. All right, so we can easily point out a place stating that this is 30 degree west of the prime meridian, or this is 5 degree east of the prime meridian, like that. So that we have taken as a reference point. All right. Okay. Now in page number 13, I guess you have a picture of a grid. Okay, now what are we call them global grid. Now what are they? They are actually parallels of latitudes and meridians of longitude which collide with each other, or cross or intersect with each other. Thus the grid that they form is called the global grid. Okay, when they cross each other, and with the help of which we can actually determine the time of a particular place. For example, Dhubri in Assam is situated at 26 degree north latitude and 90 degree east longitude. Now, to find out about these 2 points, we need the global grid position of Dhubri. All right, so this is how we this is how we actually take out the different positions or locations of different areas or city or whatever. Now, another one, in figure 2.7, page number 13, you will see that there are few vertical rows with numbers and horizontal rows with letters. Now, these are having, as you may see, A, B, C, D and E. 5 points, reference points are there. Now, look carefully. Point A and point E are located on the same parallel of latitude, isn't it? They are parallel and they run horizontally. So you can see that on the same line, point A and point E are located. Now go to point B. Point A and point B again are located on the same longitude, isn't it? Longitude runs vertically from north to south. So you can see that point A and B are located on the same point. Similarly, point C and D are located on the same longitude, isn't it? So this is how we locate a particular place on the Earth's surface. Now, coming to page number 15, longitude and time. Now, previously, as you all know, might be knowing that previously when there were no, instruments to measure or to determine the time of a particular place, be it local, mostly the local time, when we did not have the clocks Okay, so how did we do it? We can easily do it by assessing the movement of the different celestial bodies like moon and the other planets, and of course the sun. So when the sun is at the top or at the zenith, we can easily understand that it's actually the 12 noon, or few minutes past 12. So in this way, in the earlier time, we used to determine the local time of a place, and by the shadow of the earth, by the shadow of the sun cast by the sun, which is shortest at the noon and longest at sunrise and sunset. Also, we can determine which time of the day it is. Okay. Now, when the prime meridian of Greenwich has the sun at the highest point in the sky, all the places along this meridian will have midday or noon. So we have taken this reference point of prime meridian and Greenwich, that when the sun will shine at the top of this particular meridian, we will calculate the midday or noon for the same for those meridians located at the same point. As the earth rotates from west to east, the places east of Greenwich will be ahead of Greenwich Mean Time and the west will be behind it. This is very important to know. Suppose India is located in the eastern hemisphere, all right. So when we are traveling from India to US, which is at the western hemisphere, naturally we will lose our time. We will not be ahead. On the other hand, when we are traveling from US and entering into the eastern hemisphere, we will gain a day. All right, understood. So all the places located east of Greenwich will be gaining one day, and the places located west of the Greenwich will be losing. Now, how to calculate this? Now, I told you before that the earth rotates 360 degrees in about 24 hours. We all know it as the earth is a sphere, which means 15 degree an hour or 1 degree in 4 minutes. Simply, we have divided it. Okay. So, 15 degree, for a difference of 15 degree, there will be a difference of 1 hour. So suppose I am sitting and having coffee at 45 degree east meridian. All right. Now I am calling up my friend who's living in 60 degree east longitude, 60 degree east longitude, or just an hour with a difference of 15 degrees in longitude, and she told me that I had my coffee just 1 hour before. So it means that for 15 degrees we are having a difference of 1 hour. If it is eastward, then it will the more we go eastward, it will get added up, and the more we go westward, it will get deducted. In this way, we can calculate the local time of a particular place. Now, why do we have a standard time? What is the need of a standard time? That we will see. The local time of places which are on the different meridians are bound to differ. It has to be. Okay, for example, it will be difficult to prepare a timetable for trains which crosses several longitudes, isn't it? Suppose I need to go somewhere, changing 3 different flights, and all these places are located on different longitudes. So there will be much confusion. So to solve that, what we have done is, in India, the longitude of 82.5 degree, or that is 82 degree 30 minutes east, is treated as the standard meridian. It is taken as the standard time for the whole country. It is known as the Indian Standard Time. Now see, the sun rises at first in Arunachal Pradesh, because that's the easternmost corner, and sets lately in parts of Gujarat, okay, as the westernmost corner. So if we would not have taken the standard time, then there would have been a difference of 1 hour 45 minutes in the local time of Dwarka, which is in Gujarat, and Dibrugarh in Assam, or maybe in Arunachal Pradesh. Okay, so 1 hour 45 minutes. So to beat this confusion, we have taken the reference point or the standard meridian as 82 degree 30 minutes, and this local time we considered as the Indian Standard Time. This particular meridian crosses the city of Allahabad. Alright, the picture is given in page number 15 for your reference. Now, India is located at the east of the Greenwich at 82 and 30 degree east, and is 5 hour 30 minutes ahead of GMT. So, if the GMT timing, suppose, so it will be 7:30 p.m. in India when it is 2 p.m. 2 p.m. in London. So, if London, because London is located west to India, so the timing of India will always be ahead of that is we have in London. Okay, some countries have a great longitudinal extent, so they have adopted more than one standard time. For example, in Russia, there are as many as 11 standard times. The earth has been divided into 24 time zones, one for 1 hour each. Each zone thus cover 15 degrees of longitude. Okay, so this is all about the time and longitude. This is very interesting, children. Please go through. The more you will read, the more you will be able to understand, and all the confusions will be wiped off. Okay, so longitudes is keenly interlinked with determining the particular time of a particular place, as they help us to determine the Indian standard, the standard time for each and every continent and each and every country. Okay, so the basic concept is, the more we move from the prime meridian eastward, we gain a day, and the more we move from the prime meridian westward, we eventually lose a day. Now, children, I would request you to go through the entire chapter very well and carefully. Now, I will be giving you question answers from this chapter, not only those answers of which the questions are given in the exercise, but few more and extra questions also, because they are essential for you to know. Now, I will be providing you with those. You have to keep a record of all these answers with you. You can either take a printout or download or whatever, and keep a track of the answers, because as soon as the school reopens, you need to jot them down onto your copies and submit for the correction. All right, so please be on your toes to learn the chapter, to understand each and everything. In case you have any query, I hope most of the class 6 children have my number. My number I will be mentioning in one of the pages where you have the question answers. So at any point, if you have any query, you can surely knock me. And worksheets for this chapter I'm not setting right now. I will be giving it eventually once we are done completed with 5 to 6 chapters. All right, thank you, class 6. Have a great day ahead and continue with your studies.